stream was kind of unplanned, but I saw something pretty special on Flight Radar 24 and I decided to make a quick live stream about it. We'll see how many people tune into this stream, but I posted a video about it too for those of you guys who are into aviation, specifically military aviation. I found this really neat plane on the Flight Radar 24 tracker app. It is a Boeing E-4B, also referred to as the Doomsday plane. It took off from Los Angeles and is currently heading eastward in the United States. But I thought this was a really cool plane, and it's not something you see very often on Flight Radar 24. As you can see right now, it's at 31,000 feet, traveling at 856 kilometers an hour, and its heading is 72 degrees. But I thought this was a really cool plane, and it's a plane I've always had a fascination with as an aviation enthusiast, and I wanted to share it with you guys today. But I'm just going to do a little bit of a live stream, probably stream for about 10-15 minutes, and we'll see how many people come here to join the stream. This is last minute, as I said, but it's only because I wanted to live stream this plane for a brief period and talk with you guys a little bit. So that's why we're doing this on such short notice. But for those of you guys who will be watching this stream after it's pre-recorded, you probably won't be able to track this plane. But for those of you who tune in live and have Flight Radar 24 downloaded, you can track this plane live on Flight Radar. It's the #1 tracked plane right now, tracked by 3,638 people. So as you know, this is a pretty... Well, it's the most tracked plane right now, but it's a pretty popular plane in general amongst the aviation community, so it's garnered a lot of attention, being that it's on the tracker. But yeah, so I wanted to come on here and do a little stream talking about it, and yeah, let's see what else is tracking pretty heavily on Flight Radar today. Let's just go to the most tracked. Oh, we have Los Angeles to Melbourne. Oh, that's the Qantas A380, tracked by 1,600 people. 737-200, but beyond that, it's just mainly the Doomsday plane that's garnering the most attention. Oh, there's one from Caracas. A lot of Venezuelan aviation has been getting a lot of tracks lately. Hey, Fire Photography, how you doing? But yeah, right now this is the most tracked plane on Flight Radar, and I wanted to make a quick video on it for those aviation enthusiasts out there. I'm doing good. I actually found the Doom plane on Flight Radar, so I just made a quick video about it, and I'm going to do a stream about it too. I wasn't planning on doing a live stream tonight, but I thought this was the perfect occasion to justify doing one, so that's why we're here. How was school today? Was it good? But yeah, this is, it's currently heading eastward. Probably going, if I was to guess, probably going to Andrews Air Force Base in Maryland. That's usually where these planes... Good. That's good to hear. Are you going buffing on the weekend, or... This is Flight Radar 24, so this is a flight tracking app, and we're right now tracking the Boeing E-4B, the Doomsday plane. It's commonly used to transport the Secretary of Defense. If I was to guess, that's probably what this flight is right now, but don't quote me on that. But it is heading eastward towards, I guess, probably Andrews Air Force Base, but it's possible it's going somewhere else. So, Fire Photography, whereabouts are you going to be buffing? Are you going to be buffing in town, or are you going to be going out of town to buff? Today was a really nice day in Guelph, at least, so today would have been a good day for me to buff, but I had some other things I had to do, unfortunately, so I wasn't able to go out and buff, but I think tomorrow is going to kind of get shitty again. I think there's snow in the forecast for Guelph. But yeah, for those aviation enthusiasts, this is most likely in town. Nice. Good. Well, for those aviation enthusiasts, this is for you guys. It's a pretty special plane, not something you see all the time. So yeah. Anyway, forgive me, I just had to put my phone on the charger. Let's see if we can find any other unique airplanes on the tracker. But as you can see, it's right over New Mexico right now, which is a very busy airspace. Really, the whole West Coast is a busy airspace for air traffic. But let's go here and see. No call sign. What's this 737? Well, it looks like it's down by Venezuela. See what's up and around the country. Alright, I will do that. Oh, it's a Venezuelan. This is the #2 most tracked plane. A Boeing 737-200. Looks like it's out of Venezuela. Venezuelan aviation has really been closely monitored lately by a lot of the aviation enthusiasts. So yeah. See what's up and around the county. Alright, I will do that. Head back up to Ontario here. Do you have this app, Fire Photography? Do you track planes? Are you much of an aviation guy? Or I know you're pretty... Oh, you... Okay, nice. Okay, cool. Not for buffing. Oh, cool. Probably gonna stay in your area. Well, that's alright. You do have this app? Yeah, good app. I've had it for a long time, and being an aviation enthusiast, I've had this app for a long time. Don't use it too much? Fair enough. I usually check it every day. Looks like this 737 going into Toronto is in a holding pattern. I wonder how many other aircraft going into Toronto are in a holding pattern. I would imagine probably a few are in a hold. Oh yeah, there's some down here. See if they're in a holding pattern. Toronto seems to get a lot of holding patterns on Fridays and on the weekends. They seem to put the... Oh yeah, this one's in a holding pattern. It's doing the circles down by Niagara region. And you can see it did some circles over Lake Erie. Coming from Tampa, it's a Air Canada Rouge A319. But Toronto's busy tonight. Look at the line going in. This runway, for those of you guys who don't know plane spotting in Toronto, this runway sucks for plane spotting, at least every time I've used it. I think this is runway 33 left or 33 right, and it goes north-south, and it's just a shitty runway, especially when they're landing from the south, because it's hard to kind of find a good spot to plane spot at this runway. When they're coming from the north, it's a little bit easier, but when they're coming from the south, it's kind of a tricky runway to do plane spotting at. But yeah, but let me know, do you guys like... I'm going to start posting some videos about Flight Radar 24 and some of the rare and most tracked planes on there. So let me know if that's something you guys would want to see. Let me know, because if it is, it's something I'll certainly do. Oh, there's a PIA 777-200LR. I actually filmed one of these a couple years ago, landing in Toronto on runway 24 right. And it was actually this exact 777-200LR, which is, I think, all they have. I think they have a couple 777-300ERs, but it's coming from Islamabad. Let's see how long of a flight that is. 13 hours and 11 minutes, over 10,000 kilometers. Jeez, that's a long flight. I'd get itchy feet on that flight. But yeah, let me know in chat. Is that something you'd like to see? Do you want me to do some Flight Radar content, live streams where I show off the flight tracker? If that's something you're interested in, I can certainly do it more often. But yeah, just let me know in chat. Is that something you'd want to see, Fire Photography? Not really your thing. I'm a big aviation guy. I know a lot of people know me for the emergency vehicles, but I'm also big into airplanes. I love aviation airplanes, and you know, unfortunately I don't live near an airport, so I can't film them as much as I'd like to. But yeah, if you're still in chat, let me know what you think, man, because I know you're a pretty regular viewer, and I don't want to be pumping out content that you don't like. Oh, something was wrong. We couldn't load the data. Let's see if I can click on it again. St. Louis to Frankfurt. Not really things. Planes are cool, just not into filming them. Fair enough, yeah. Yeah, I had a channel when I was younger where I kind of filmed airplanes because I was into it, and then I deleted it as I got older. But I've always kind of been into aviation. But yeah, you're more into the emergency vehicle niche. But yeah, this is the current look at the flight tracker. This is live, so for those of you who are tuning in, this is a live stream. This is a live look at Flight Radar 24. Let's go overseas and see if we see anything. Sometimes out over the Atlantic you can see some pretty cool stuff, but I don't see anything really too cool. Norse, where's he going? JFK from Rome. That's an unusual route. Norse is actually from Norway, so I wonder what they're doing that flight for. There's a Royal Air Force, probably a C-17. Yeah, let's see. I like buffing because you never know when you'll get something. Plane spotting and rail fanning, you follow a schedule, if that makes sense. Yeah, I totally get that. Yeah, there is kind of that element of buffing, which is why I really like it. And that's why I don't hate encryption as much as some other people do, because, like, you never know what you're going to get. You know, you hear a siren or you see something, you never know what it's going to be. So, in that sense, it's kind of nice for buffing aspect. With planes, there is a schedule, and same with rail fanning. This one came from Omaha, Nebraska. Of course, my map's not loading. Sorry about that, guys. But C-17 Globemaster 3, pretty common in the Royal Air Force fleet. Canada's got a few of them as well. Military transport plane, heavy lifter. This is on my tablet, so I'm doing this stream from my phone, and I'm showing my tablet, and of course it's being slow. I can't do long streams on this phone indoors for some reason, because the phone overheats. Last time I did an indoor stream on my phone, the frickin' phone actually overheated and shut down, so I'm trying to kind of keep an eye on that so it doesn't shut down on me. But I just wanted to make a quick stream, totally unplanned, and just showcase the E4B, because I think that's a pretty cool plane. Even scanner, you don't know when calls will go out. I like that feeling. Yeah, it's like the surprise, like, you know, expecting the unexpected. I get that. Until they get tones out. Till they get tone outs, obviously. Yeah, and it, you know, like, that's what I like about it. Like, you know, especially like fire buffing. You're sitting at the fire hall. It's that expectation, you know, that, and you never know, you might get one truck, you might get two trucks, you might get an ambulance coming from a different place. Like, you just never know what it's going to be. So in that sense, the buffing is a really good, really exciting feeling, and it's a different feeling too. Now we're over Iraq. Yesterday there was a U.S. Air Force KC-135 that was over Iraq that was squawking 7700, which is the emergency code, so it was declaring an emergency, and he turned back around this part of Iraq, central Iraq, and headed all the way back to Qatar, to Al Udeid Air Base. For those of you who don't know, the U.S. has a large military presence in Qatar, but just look at the air traffic along the Persian Gulf, going into Qatar, into UAE, all the Gulf states. Look at the frickin' traffic. It is insane. I always like tracking the Middle East, specifically like Iran and Afghanistan, because you get the old A310s, and sometimes you get Iran Air 747-200, which is a rare bird nowadays. So Iran and these sanctioned countries are pretty cool, because you get some really cool airplanes that are no longer in service by mainline Western carriers. So tracking over Iran, Venezuela, Afghanistan is pretty cool, actually. Hey Mahmood, welcome to the stream. How you doing? There's a Mahan Air A340-600. This is probably my favorite Airbus plane ever produced, is the Airbus A340-600. This one's from Guangzhou, China. Oh, fuck. Hit the wrong button there. See how he is 40,000 feet, traveling at 757 kilometers an hour, 15 minutes out from Tehran. Actually, yesterday, Tehran canceled a bunch of flights going into the city. They canceled pretty much all flights throughout the two airports they have there because of ongoing protests and fears of imminent airstrikes by the U.S. and Israel. So this has been a pretty heavily monitored airspace too by us aviation enthusiasts. Mahmood Ram 10, remember me? Probably. I do know there was a Mahmood that would tune into my streams regularly, so that could be the same one that you are. Did you change your name? Because there used to be a Mahmood YT that always tuned in. So maybe you changed your name. But that's about the only Mahmood I think ever tuned in right. Then over Turkmenistan, you have all these different airlines. Singapore. What's the Singapore? Oh, an A350 going to Gatwick, London. Thai Airways, 3 Thai Airways in a row. 777, Bangkok to London. Actually, Thai Airways is in the process of fleet renewal, so they're retiring a lot of these older 777s and replacing them with the A350s and 787 Dreamliners. So there's a newer A350 right there, actually, going to Stockholm. Thai Airways has a really nice livery. I don't know what you guys think, but I think Thai Airways has a really nice livery. But anyway, guys, that is about the highlight of the tour. I'm going to end the stream now because my phone is starting to get hot, which is always concerning. But anyway, for those of you who tuned into the stream, thank you for joining. And we'll probably do another stream later on in the week. I can't guarantee one tomorrow, but possibly later on in the week. So for those of you who joined the stream and tracked some planes with me, thank you very much. And we'll talk to you again later. Take care, guys. Have a good night, Fire Photography. Thanks for joining. Take care, everybody. I'm alone on the stream. Looks like there's one more behind you, Mahmood. Fire Photography was on the stream too. But anyway, good night, guys. We'll talk to you